Welcome to All the Things podcast with Olivia Joseph. We will dive into life's beautiful messes where every struggle holds meaning and every story unfolds with purpose. We will talk about all the things that shape us, finding the beauty in the chaos, in the wisdom, in the journey. With my new set of eyes, I could see and operate quicker, but the hurt would still lie with me at night. Starting over is never easy. Moving back home was definitely difficult. I literally was placed back in my crib and yelled at by life. Sitting in the middle of my childhood room floor with tears welled up in my eyes, staring at all the sky high boxes of emotions and the 90s baby blue and pink borders broke me. I felt so hopeless and pitiful. Every morning, packing up every ounce of me as if nothing was wrong, smiling as big as possible so no one would dare ask me, "Are you all right?" Only if they knew I had death behind my smile. I was a walking weapon. I wept day and night. I felt so backwards, tiptoeing back home after the club. My independence was stolen. I felt so ashamed of where my life was. Over time, I became completely over being the first and last person out the club and done listening to meaningless men whisper sweet nothings. I wanted more but didn't know how. The pandemic hit and I had the time to actually think. One funny TikTok video led to another. I took a class and started a business. I finally had tunnel vision. I truly embraced that season of redirecting my journey. I had other challenges on how to navigate running a business. It was a source of pride, something I could shape, something entirely mine to define. I finally gained the knowledge of financial literacy and achieved the milestone of buying my first car. I was absolutely thrilled with my accomplishment of my material goals. It was incredibly freeing to gain independence after being so codependent. Every level has new challenges. I started traveling, and that became my escape from my reality. So now let's take a moment for what you've been through. So let's unpack this. Moving back home, grieving, I was such a ball of stress. I literally was a walking weapon, waiting to blow at any time. The way it happened was we separated, but we still had time on the lease. So I stayed and I was going through in that apartment by myself. Like he still had the key. Um, he kept his key, I had my key, so it was like he still had access to come back to the house. And I was feeling all these emotions. And then after that passed, I moved back home, and it was a lot starting over after being feeling like you're adulting. You're with your boo and you feeling independent. You feeling like, oh, it's us. But at the end of the day, it was only me. So clubbing to suppress my emotions. It helped at a certain point, just like trying to numb it. Like, okay, I'm single. I'm in the club. I'm out here. But when you're such a spiritual person, after a while, you can't take it anymore. Because back then, I didn't really know, but I was feeling all the emotions of what I was going through and feeling everybody in the club too. So it was a lot. But what's funny is God would send people to speak to me, to speak to my spirit. And when people are drunk and like they want to have these like heartfelt conversations, and where I was, I low key was always looking for a word somewhere. Like somebody's going to tell me something. Like I kind of knew it. And people would tell me things along the way, and I would end up leaving the club, going home crying. Um, Meaningless men whispering sweet nothings. So, yeah, I entertained just to entertain, to feel, to try to forget everything that was happening. But in all actuality, it made it worse. It made it worse. So when you are a person of depth, you can't do a lot of surface things. And a lot of the men in the club or outside of the club, whatever, whatever, they can be very surface. And after a while, I had a short fuse. So the whole rendezvous of different men didn't last long for me. When the pandemic hit, the whole world shut down. And I think everybody had time to think, to save, to start a business. And I always was a makeup girly. And they had I was seeing a lot of makeup videos, and I'm making them. And people are like, can you do my makeup, Olivia? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, I actually can turn this into a business. And I found this girl. I flew to Atlanta and took a class, got certified, and I started my own makeup business, which is still there from time to time. But yeah, so channel that energy, how it just unfolded for me. Be open to allowing new things. Be open to shifting your own path of taking that hurt and pain and either making money from it or starting a hobby. Gaining financial literacy. When the pandemic hit, stimulus checks were coming around. There was nowhere to really go but the grocery store. So I think everybody saved around that time. And I ended up saving a lot of money. And I got addicted to saving and seeing my bank account go up. So I was able to buy my own car. I had a car to get to work, back and forth with, but it wasn't anything I was proud of. It just was a low hoopty. So I was able to buy an SUV, and I was so happy with that. I felt like, wow, I can do this. I can do things without a partner. I can do things on my own. When I end up taking that class, I feel like, I mean, I traveled, but it was like with family, for family trips, that kind of thing. But when I traveled for my makeup class, I'm like, look at me, like this is fun. I spent a weekend or a couple of days, I think, in Atlanta, and I'm searching up the class and where it is and what location can I stay. And I used to live in Atlanta, so it was fun learning a different aspect of a city I used to live in. And I became addicted with traveling, and I made it a thing where probably maybe 4 times a year I would pick a location and travel, get a rental car, get a hotel. It was so refreshing to just have that much control over me versus being a co-ed situation. You have to explain everything, you have to make sure you got double the money. So what I will say to you is channel your energy on you, channel your energy on your hobbies. If you're interested in something, pick that back up. If not, start doing different things that you don't normally do so you can find out what you like. Take yourself out of that devastation, take yourself out of that heartbreak. Take that pain and use it for good. As hard as a breakup can be, it's not to break you, it's to mold you. It's a lesson in the heartbreak. What do you need to pay attention to next time? What were you too relaxed about? What boundaries did you let go that you didn't stand on? Don't let it change you, let it mold you. With that being said, thank you for tuning into All the Things podcast. Keep finding the beauty in the chaos. Until next time.